Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Feng Shui Toolkit. My name is Kathleen Horvath-Zemansky. I'm a business Feng Shui master, astrologer, and the creator of the TimeBlazr business management system. Today, we're talking about Feng Shui, though. So, what we want to be looking at is we're going to be looking at a couple of different compass styles today because there's a question that does happen, and I just recently had this question asked to me by one of my clients. So I thought that it would be serving for you to understand this as well. And that is, she wanted to have access to the 2022 compass styles because she was going to be getting a new piece of real estate. And I went, oh, stop. We don't want to be using the 2022 dials. So this is something that I think that everyone should take a little bit of a pause when you are looking for a piece of real estate. But before we get too far, if you are new to this community, hello, it's really nice to have you here today. I would love for you to subscribe to our channel. If you like what you hear, go ahead and hit that like button and make sure that you hit that bell as well to make sure that you get all of our updates that are coming out of our office. So here's what I would like to tell you. When you are looking for real estate, there are a couple of things that you can do to help start benefiting yourself as far as looking for a new piece of real estate. Now, obviously, the type of, well, maybe not obvious to you, but I'm going to explain it, is that I do practice classical feng shui. And what that actually means is that I am always going to pull an astrology chart of all of the people that would be using the space. If it's on a commercial space, you always look at the top management CEO because they are the ones that are the driver of the business. So you want it to benefit the owner and therefore benefit the other people that are working in the space. If you are looking at, which most people have been doing, is this remote working now more than ever, I do believe your space is very critical for you to improve the essence of the space by just having, being in the more vibrant areas. So this is a case where maybe you're going to be combining the long-term feng shui with the annual feng shui. Now, feng shui is actually quite formulaic. And so what you want to do is you want to be able to, dial in the right formula for the right case. So the first thing that I want you to think about when you're thinking about a new piece of real estate is, whether you're renting or leasing or buying, is that you want to have the absolute best feng shui that you can have available to you. And if you're going to be staying more than 1 year, calendar year time, and I'm talking like you're starting at the beginning of the year, and then it's beginning of the Chinese New Year, which is around February 4th in 2022. It is February 4th in 2022, and then going all the way to the following year. Then you can use the annual dial. But otherwise, you're going to get yourself into a little bit of trouble by not really thinking out. Real estate is a huge topic, and there's a couple of things that I think that if you started looking at this from this perspective, your feng shui outcomes are going to be better. So number one, the first thing that you want to do is drive around the neighborhood community in which you are going to be living or working. This is very important. The reason being is that the feng shui always, always, always starts on the exterior of a building. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is start looking around for, are there pointy objects like corners of buildings that might be dissecting the building that you're thinking about occupying? Is there some craggy or broken objects in a certain area that, and it could be, a cracked mountain where you basically had maybe either through an explosion from people trying to mine like granite and things like that, and or just an avalanche, a landslide where a piece of a mountain has broken off from the hill. So um, there might be pylons. Those are, those high tension wires that you might be seeing. There might be, um, a big old tree standing right in front of that front door, which that means you're going to be missing opportunities. So there's a lot of things that you want to look for. And I just gave you some of the negative ones that you want to avoid, but there's some positive things that you would like to see happen for your space as well. That you want to have a very nice entrance. So you don't want it all, clogged up. You don't want a, direct line to the door. You want sort of a meandering path that will come into the space. So that would be, preferable to, a straight line. You want to have, you want to have what's called an embrace. And an embrace means that your back, just like this wall behind me, there's a back, and then there's an arm, just like an armchair. And this could be either naturally, which is actually more beneficial, is that natural embrace where you see, arms of the land just sort of embracing and cradling your property that you're going to be occupying. That's ideal. But if you don't have that, then you're going to have to manufacture that, and that could either be done through trees, which takes a while to grow, and they need to be, solid, that, they're really creating this embrace for you. You can do it with berms. You can create mounds of dirt and plant down there and just, create that particular embrace as well. You can do it with masonry work, with, like brick walls or fences, things like that. But again, you want to create this kind of energy that locks in, this nice energy that is coming from the outside. And that's what you want it to do. You want it to have actually this sort of embrace, if I can get in the screen properly, that the energy comes in and it locks and it stays within your property. That's why an embrace is so important. So, and then once the energy comes to your front door, you need to direct it and let it come on inside. So this could go, this whole series could go on quite extensively, but one of the things I do want you absolutely to do is stand at that front door. Go right up to the front door of the place that you are thinking about, like I said, leasing, buying, or renting, and stand and look to see what you see exactly right outside your front door. Is it a benevolent energy? Is it a really nice energy, or is it something that is blocking that front door? Look to the left and look to the right. What do you see on either side of it? Is the energy, the way that the energy is coming in, does it just pass you by, or do you need to do some sort of, like pottery or something like that to, when that energy is coming, you want it to stop. You don't want it to go past your building, so you want to kind of lock it in. We call this locking the chi in, so you can direct it back up to your front door. That's where the front door is very essential. It's called you want your front door, which is an antenna to the energy, and it is where we have the opportunities. This is your front door is known for that, and it's very important that you understand that how your front door is positioned and what's inside and outside of that front door is going to give you an indication of some of the potential that is going to be happening from that property. Why do we do feng shui in the beginning? It's because it's there to help us achieve our goals. The better your feng shui, the easier it is to achieve your goals. Now I'm going to show you a couple of compass dials on what I mean by, the first one is the annual compass dial. So just imagine that, for example, you are basing it on this annual dial, and you go, oh well, there's good energy in the southwest, and there's good energy in the northwest, and there's good energy in the northeast. Well, yes, there is, but we also have to understand that this dial is only going to be valid at this point in the game. It's only going to be valid for another couple of months, and then it shifts to something else. So the good energy that you're going to see in 2021 is not going to be the same that you're going to see in 2022. So the other thing that you might want to be considering as well is the flying star, which there's annual flying star, and then there's going to be long-term flying star, and the flying star is going to be based on the day that you move into a space, and then a pattern will be calculated. So if you move in any time between now until 2024, we're going to be moving into what's called the period 8, which is the current period we're in, and that's going to give you the numerology of your building. It will tell you your potential. That will, again, we're matching your chart with the space, and how well do you get along with the space, or is the space beating you up so bad that you can't even achieve what you're trying to achieve. Again, this is more of a, every space is personalized, so it's going to be very hard in, especially a little YouTube video like today, to go into each and every potential space that could be available. But what I want you to at least think about is, I hope you can see this on the background here, but what I want you to think about is just a blank compass dial when you're looking for a piece of real estate. And one of the best things I can advise you to do is for you to think about what's called a 4-point gold. And 4-point gold means that it is like a square box and you don't have any missing areas. Why? Because we don't want, there's so many different things that we can go through on the feng shui dial, but let me go through just a couple of things that at the very least we don't want to have missing in the floor plan. Okay, so the thing that you don't want to have missing is the southwest sector. The southwest sector is head of household female. The feng shui dial has so much information on it. It could, it also indicates the southwest is about digestive. So for example, if you have that area missing, a woman living in a space without the southwest there, one, they don't have any affinity to the space. They might have digestive issues, which may encompass other people in the space, as well as anyone that has a goat in their chart or a monkey in their chart. Wow, that starts saying a picture of, oh, that might be why I've got Crohn's disease or IBS or something like that, because there's something that's compromised, even if it's there, but you have some negative, you have some broken things in that area, it's in ill repair. That's something that is going to be, compromised, right? So each one of these sectors has all of these different pieces to it, that it's depending on your role, whether you're male or female, whether you're the youngest person or the oldest person. Those types of things will start showing up on the dial. But here's another thing that I want you to understand when you're looking for a new piece of real estate. One of the things the second thing I want you to avoid is being on an animal. Avoid being on an animal for the directions. And what I mean by that is this. Let's start with the south. As you can see, south 2 has the horse direction. Now, you might have a horse in your chart. That means, you're going to connect with this area of your space, no matter what space you go into, but it's the south that is going to be connecting with you. Then we have an element, and then we have another animal. That's southwest 1, that's the goat. Then we have another element, and then we have another animal, which is the monkey. So as you can see, every other pi square is either going to be an animal or an element. You do not, under any circumstance, want to get into a building or some sort of office suite or apartment, whatever the case may be, whatever you're going to be living or working in, you want to stay off of an animal that is the facing of the building as well as the door. Why? Because every 6 years, the door or your building is going to clash. If it clashes the front of the building, it will be affecting your financial matters. If it is affecting the back and clashing the back of your building, it's going to affect your health and people matters. In other words, your relationships, your family matters, things like that. So you don't want to clash. So let's go back to the annual dial. So for those of you who are living on a northeast southwest one axis, and your facing is either the goat or the ox, this year that means your house or your office is going to clash. So if you are facing the goat, it means that your financial matters are going to be compromised. If it is the ox is in the sitting, which is the back of the building, then that means that your health and or your family, or your relationships, even if they're not living it, like you're maybe just dating someone or something like that, this is where this is going to get affected negatively. We don't want that. And guess what? 6 years from now, it's going to be the year of the goat. So therefore, we've got that same setup again. When you could have been on this element, which is called here the earth, and on this side it is the heavens, so, or mountain, excuse me. So when these two, if you're on that, it's a safer zone. So that's why we want to have you off of the animals instead of being on the and be on the elements instead. That's the way that you're going to want to start looking for your real estate. But in any case, if you would like those two dials that I was talking about, the annual feng shui dial and the flying star dial, go to freecompassdial.com and you can download both of those there and superimpose those and just see what's happening in your space now. And this would be the last few months that you're going to be able to capitalize on this particular dial before things shift into new positions in 2022. So hopefully you got a lot of value from today's presentations, and just be careful when you're out looking for a new piece of real estate, and make sure you do not use the annual feng shui dial. You're going to want to use just a blank compass dial to figure out which is the direction that you want to be facing. Make sure you have that 4-point goal, that it's square, because you don't want to miss out on things that are happening. And you think, well, there's some things that are going to be bad. I don't want to really have those. Yes, that's true. But the following year, they could be tremendous, and then you lose out on those as well. So we don't want you to do that. Okay, well, thanks so much for tuning in. Again, if you can go ahead and hit that subscribe, like, comment, and share, we would really appreciate it. Please ask any questions that you would have below, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow when we're going to be talking about TimeBlazr, and we're going to get into the month of November. So I look forward to seeing you then, and until then, may good chi follow wherever you may go. See ya. Bye-bye.